Nintendo is working on their next console?
Hi, my name is Nicole, and I will be reading for the role of Mario in the Super Mario Bros. Movie. It's a me, a Mario! It's a me, a Mario!
Alright, you guys, we've got a lot to talk about this week. Happy Home Paradise is turning out to be more of a nightmare for some people. What? Nintendo's talking about enhancing a Super Mario Brothers universe? I don't know if I'm even ready for that. We've got some actually solid possible Breath of the Wild 2 leaks, and Nintendo has officially made a statement on their next console after the Switch. Let's get started. Nintendo announced that they are working on new technologies and improving games and a new console coming in 20XX. I saw it on r/The Onion and was like, oh, of course, a Reddit article about Nintendo, how fun. And was like, no. That's reality. Why? Who thought that was a good idea? It's the weirdest tease of all time. And I will get into that more later, but I really want to dream and talk about this idea that they mentioned before they said that about increasing the overall gaming infrastructure and gaming experience for their consumers. Nintendo plans to continue to expand its business around the core concept of creating unique integrated hardware software products. And that just excites me. I'm so excited to see what more integration Nintendo can do. I feel like Nintendo, while we may not have like the most popular tech, like say 4K gameplay, I feel like Nintendo has always been more innovative than everyone else. And I feel like Nintendo makes up for that because of that. Like Nintendo is never doing what anyone else is doing. They're always doing their own thing that like completely changes the way that we think about games. And then later everybody copies them. Steam Deck. Whatever it is, I'm just really excited. I feel like Nintendo did a lot of really cool things with Nintendo Labo and then just kind of like abandoned it. Or even something like they did in Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, like so cool and so underrated. So I'm just really buzzed to see whatever they do next. All right, guys, here's the Thanksgiving gravy for you. Get it? It's like tea, but Thanksgiving, so gravy. I was looking at the stats, and it turns out if you're not subscribed to my channel, you have a 20% higher chance of having a dry turkey. So I don't think you want to take any chances before Thanksgiving, if you know what I mean. All right, so Nintendo recently had a conference for all their investors to go over all the things in the quarter, blah, 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 blah. Or so we thought. They actually dropped some really crazy leaks on us, including the fact that they're thinking about starting a Super Mario Brothers cinematic universe. What? The SMBCU? But besides the point, Miyamoto has hinted that the Super Mario Brothers movie, as long as everything goes well, is only the beginning of Nintendo movies that we're gonna see, and I am so excited. Although I can understand why Nintendo is being very cautious. He also said in the same quote, they're working at one at a time. They're not going to be putting multiple in development at the same time, which after seeing how the last Super Mario Brothers movie turned out, I completely understand. I will say though, I have had the best nap of my entire life while watching the Super Mario Brothers movie, so you win some, you lose some, you know? He also said in the same breath that the Super Mario Bros. Movie is almost done, which I'm like, what? They just announced the cast, and usually when they announce the cast, like they have not officially gone into production yet. I don't know, I thought there was still time for Chris Pratt to be like replaced eventually, you know? But no such luck. They said that they're just working on the final polishes of this movie, which also means it may be coming out sooner than we think it is. Chris Pratt himself also offered a first look at the Super Mario Bros. Movie. He posted this on Twitter, which kind of made, in my mind, a little bit, I was like, would a live action Super Mario Brothers movie actually be kind of cool? It made me a little disappointed that it's gonna be animated. Miyamoto said the SMBCU was going to be featuring things like Legend of Zelda, so I'm assuming it's just all of Nintendo, but they just wanted to call it the Super Mario Brothers Cinematic Universe. Who knows? Only time will tell. I am more than excited to see. Happy Home Paradise? No more. Dun, dun, dun. There is a major bug in the Happy Home Paradise DLC. So big, in fact, that Nintendo took not only to Twitter, but has an official page on their website, warning people and giving you steps on what to do if it happens to you. But I have not had this glitch happen to me yet, thank goodness, but I'm still going to walk you through the steps of how not to have it happen and what to do if it actually happens. So, as long as before you go to remodel your residents' homes, you make sure that your airport gates are closed, this bug will not happen to you. It is only happening to people who have their airport gates open while remodeling a resident's home, and that's where the whole thing goes bad. Nintendo has also released a statement saying that they are currently working on fixing this bug and that they will have a patch before the end of November 2021. The good news is before the end of this month, we will be getting a patch for this Happy Home DLC. So good news is if you're waiting to get it for Christmas or any other holiday that you might be celebrating, it'll be all fixed before you even get there. You don't have to worry about this bug if you have your airport gates open but have not yet asked Tom Nook about renovating your resident's home. You'll still be totally fine to have your airport gates open while still playing the DLC. You're also gonna be totally fine if you ask Tom Nook about remodeling a resident's home while the gates are closed. So what do you do if this actually happens to you? Don't worry, I'm not gonna leave you hanging. Vacation homes can still be remodeled while the airport gates are open in the DLC. It's only specifically your resident's home. So don't worry about remodeling the vacation homes, those are totally fine. What if this does actually happen to you? Don't worry, I didn't forget about you, I'm not gonna leave you hanging. Here's what you do. What you need to do is the age-old tale of turn it off and turn it back on again. That's right, you're going to exit out of the game and completely close the software, fully close it using the X and everything. Then you're going to relaunch it and everything should be fixed. So if the bug does occur while you're playing, the good news is that it won't affect other people who are visiting your island at the time, and it also won't affect your save file as well, which is really good because the last thing you want to do in Animal Crossing is lose all of your progress. A literal nightmare. So earlier this month, I got absolutely played by Twitter because Breath of the Wild was trending and I got so excited that there were gonna be leaks and there was absolutely nothing. Good news for everyone, I do actually have some Breath of the Wild leaks to talk about today. Let's get into them. So recently, Nintendo revealed some concept art from Breath of the Wild that was not used in the game, and a lot of these have people kind of side-eyeing them because they kind of tie in with what we've already seen from the Breath of the Wild 2 trailers, and it would make absolute total sense that concept art that was not used for the original game would definitely be considered to be used in the second game. I'm going to go over the two major things that were shown that I think are going to be incorporated into the game. The first one is this concept art, which, I mean, you can obviously see it already with Link's Sheikah arm. Like we've already seen in the trailer, this idea that Link is approaching Ganon and like there's stuff going all over his arms. It is probably one of the most, I would say, safest kind of rumors slash leaks to assume that there's going to be something with Link's arm. We like straight up see a completely different arm in the trailer. And there's gotta be some kind of curse element going on with Ganon. This art, I feel like, completely confirms that Nintendo was at least strongly thinking about it enough to sit down and like do a detailed drawing of it. So I feel like that is a really good sign for us for the future. This art shows Link completely consumed by Sheikah technology, and his eyes even replaced with like the eye of the Watcher. So again, this kind of like cursed idea of something's going on and consuming Link, and I can't wait to see if that's the case in this game. Regardless, it has me really excited. The second concept art, which I think could also be a major hint for the game, was these divine beasts that they showed. There were more divine beasts in the concept art than were actually utilized, including one that was its own kind of city, which we've already seen this idea of floating cities from the trailer, so it would make sense kind of that the new divine beasts are also their own kind of like self-sustained city or something of that element. I mean, come on, look at this divine beast, a floating city supported by the divine beast with tentacles. I mean, it ties in almost perfectly with what we've seen before. I don't know, get out your tinfoil hats because I'm a little bit of a believer in this Link. All right, so in the previously mentioned investor meeting, they also said something about Nintendo Switch Online, which I feel like we definitely need to talk about. They said Nintendo Switch Online has reached 32 million users, which I feel like in the grand scheme of things is pretty good. PlayStation Plus has 46 million users and Game Pass has 18 million users. So we're right in the middle, which I feel like is pretty good because there is a lot of room for Nintendo to expand, and I'm not the only one that thinks so. Nintendo themselves said that they're going to work to improve and expand Nintendo Switch Online and the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack. I feel like we're only gonna go up from here, and I do really appreciate that while they didn't necessarily like full out say, hey, we're sorry for all the glitches, they at least noted them by saying that they're working on improving things, which is a good sign to me, hopefully, especially too with how on top of it they are about patching this Animal Crossing bug. I don't know, it gives me hope that Nintendo is listening and watching and really trying to give us the best experience they can.